let's get into the hottest topic of the week, really, of the last week, and that has been the Brooks Koepka Bryson DeChambeau beef, if you will. Just want to throw our 2 cents in there because I mean it's not like you can't find this in every effing corner of the internet right now. So we figured we want to get in on the action. Bryson is very much talked about on this podcast. As is Brooks. We've had interactions with Brooks. Brooks has been an interview on the show a long time ago. We had Brooks on the show. You can go listen to that on wherever you listen to podcasts. It's not on YouTube, but it is on all our podcast sources. But it's a Brooks Bryson debate, and I'm not going to recap what all happened, but we all know that Brooks, in this interview that was leaked by Golf Channel, clearly thinks Bryson is a total tool. Okay. So you had the whole thing, you had the whole video get released, 9 million views or whatever in like 24 hours. Then you had the match was announced where Brooks tweeted at Aaron Rodgers and said, "Sorry, bro," because he's got to play with Bryson. And Bryson fires back with the old, "Glad to know I'm living in your head rent-free, Brooks," that no one has ever thought of before. That was a new one. My favorite part is Bryson's, right after it all dropped, we find Bryson on his Instagram stories doing this. What is that? Like what were those things? Those were not curls. I'm not really sure what those were, but he's doing those. You had Jenna's coffee on her Instagram story where they put Bryson's face in her coffee. But these guys have a history. You had Brooks calling him out in 2019 for slow play. You had Bryson making the "Brooks doesn't have abs, I have abs" comment. You had Brooks saying, "Well, I got these trophies. I'm on my way to a 6-pack." You had Brooks tweeting the Kenny Powers on steroids gif, which I'm a huge Eastbound and Down fan all of a sudden now, so I love that. Actually, I found one today that I didn't know even existed, Pat. I don't even know that you know this.
Ooh.
Did you know that in November, Brooks FaceTimed Big Cat during a 51 Strokes podcast recording with Caleb Presley? And did you know that at one point, Brooks said, he said to Caleb Presley, he said, "Oh, if you're gonna work with Bryson's coach and be affiliated with Bryson, you're gonna wear a paperboy hat." A paperboy hat. I freaking love that. So there's a lot of beef here. There's a lot of beef. So I guess the question is, Pat, do you think it's real? Do you think the beef is real? Or is this a play for the player impact program money? Who wins in a fight, in a real fight? What do you think about the whole situation? Throw in your 2 cents. Let's hear it.
Oh, you ask a lot in that one question. That was a 3-parter, I believe. And here's the thing. I do think that it's real. I do think it got a little bit more contrived after it kind of started, with some of the tweeting back and forth, especially with, the Phil Mickelson match with Aaron Rodgers and Brady and Bryson and, Brooks throughout that. I think that part of it with those tweets was a little more contrived. I think the original thing, though, with the video that happened at the PGA Championship where Bryson walks by and, Brooks just has a great all-time demeanor, like just the eye roll, and then like just can't even go forward with his interview and has to stop and then say something about like, "I can't just," with all that bullshit going on or whatever he said. Like that was great. And I think that was very genuine. But I do think it got a little bit contrived after that, and it probably had to do something with the player impact program for the PGA Tour that they've got going on with social media and whatever else. But the questions are always, are you team Bryson or are you team Brooks? I am definitely team Brooks, even though he changed. Like, look, Brooks. There was a 24-hour period where I couldn't stand Brooks because of what he said about the crowd.
only last 24 hours, though. I'm with you. I didn't like
Yeah.
his response to the PGA, but then this happened. I'm like, okay, I'm back in.
Yeah, I was like back in on Brooks, and I like his attitude. He just doesn't give a damn and whatever else. But there's a part of me that just feels like this is like we're at Panama City Beach, and Bryson is a Sigma Kappa, and Brooks is a Kappa Nu or some crap, and they like have this like beef against each other, and they can't. They're gonna have a fight on Panama City Beach on those white sandy beaches with their White Claws in their hands and whatever else is, and they can't, and they just chug beers, and they're like they can't even, they got problems with each other, but they don't even really know why. But one of them is just going to be petty about this, and I just there's something about it, just like a frat boy standoff that really kind of I don't really.
Yeah, Brooks is wearing like a seashell anklet, and
Yeah.
and Bryce is wearing
But
a tank
Bryson's like
top.
he's part of like the fraternity that loves to like work out a ton, and Brooks still does that, but they have the hotter looking girls in their
Yeah,
fraternity, and so Bryson's probably a little jealous of that, but he's still like going to just show off his muscles and everything. Like that's the whole vibe I get between the two, and it's kind of off putting. It's a little bit
yeah,
off putting.
it kind of is. Speaking of that, speaking of vibe, like if you watch Bryson's YouTube videos, which I do because I look for reasons to go off on Bryson, but he's hanging out with what they look like high school kids. I know they're not, and I'm getting old. That's why I'm 37. They all start looking like they look younger and younger the older I get. But he's like hanging out with this little fraternity of guys that like, shit and giggle all over themselves with everything he says and does. It's just kind of weird. I feel like this. I feel like the disdain for Bryson is real from Brooks. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think the disdain for Brooks from Bryson is not real. I think Bryson is a guy that wants to be liked by everyone.
I agree.
There are some people who just they care to be liked by everyone. I tend to not be that guy and don't really care to be that guy. I don't think Brooks is that guy. I think Brooks is perfectly fine if you don't like him. I genuinely do.
He definitely does not give a shit.
But Brooks,
Like
Bryson wants everybody to like him. But then when he finds a guy like Brooks, who's kind of an alpha dog, who's on his level, who's a major champion multiple times, like who's doing his thing, he's gonna fight back because that's all he can really do. He doesn't have a choice. It's not like he's gonna win him over. Like Bryson's not gonna win him over. So he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll get in the fight and do my thing. I don't know. I don't think either one of these guys are doing anything to this point for the PIP money. To this point, I don't think any of it's been thought. I don't think it's been thought that far through. I think both of them are making so much damn money. I don't know how much they've even thought about it anyway. Honestly, they'll be.
well, do we think they're even thinking this through? Like both of their minds are.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
They're simple-minded individuals. Even though Bryson is supposed to be so smart, I feel like part of his mind is as simple as it gets.
Yeah. I don't think either one of them are. Like, I don't think this is a coup to like work a PIP thing into their favor. I don't believe that that's happening. I think there is some genuine dislike there on Brooks's end. There is zero chance the USGA pairs them together in the US Open. There's zero chance the PGA Tour pairs them together by choice on Thursday or Friday. We just have to all pray and hope that they finish in the correct order on Saturday and Sunday to get paired together and have a little drama. The Ryder Cup is obviously going around. That whole thing's going around. They won't be paired together in the Ryder Cup. I do think there is some legitimate dislike. I just don't think Brooks likes him, and I don't blame him. I'm Team Brooks in this situation, even though, yes, for like 24 hours, I kind of didn't like. We talked about it a little bit on last week's show. For like about 24 hours, I thought Brooks got kind of out-alphaed by Phil and became the beta for a minute. But I'm kind of back in, and I'm never going to be a Team Bryson guy. There's literally not a chance I'm going to be a Team Bryson. He can go back to his house in Dallas and play around with his little high school, maybe barely out of high school buddies, and play Fortnite and make videos about his life and hit balls really hard and far on his simulator. And Brooks, in the meantime, I mean, this is what Bryson's doing right now. If you're watching on YouTube, here's Bryson playing ping
The
pong.
ping pong simulator.
Yeah,
I
here's
actually am impressed by, like, I wouldn't mind, like, if I was bored one night and I wanted to play some ping pong with myself,
yeah,
I would like to have that machine.
yeah, yeah. Okay. I guess I would too. I just would never put. I would never put it on YouTube ever. But I mean, here he is. Anyway, and Bryce is doing. I mean, Brooks is doing things with his girl and just doing this. Apparently, Bryson has a girlfriend, but very few people can confirm. Don't forget to check out tourjunkies.com, DB's Big Balls betting card. And make sure you join the Nut Hut. We'll be chatting it up in there. It'll be a good time. Thanks for everybody watching. Don't forget, in the YouTube comments, are you team Brooks, or are you team Bryson, or are you team neither? And do you think that it's all made up or not? Give us your thoughts in the comments. Help us out. And have a great week. See ya.